Retroids. This is your next installment of RETRO-MANIA, where me and the guys from Retro-Octopus like to get together and talk video games. Talk video games of old, video games of new, what we're playing, what we'd like to play, stuff we'd like to see happen, any news that we can get our hands on, tips and tricks, all kinds of goodies for you guys. I am the boy wonderful Ian Wallace. I am joined by not only the Boss Rush mode, but also the melodic 8-bit alchemy for this episode. We're down 2 people. Shout out to Nintendo 25 and of course Parasite Steve. We can't wait to see you guys on the next episode. We hope you guys are doing okay. And yeah, independent video games.
Indie.
That's what we're here for. Not Indiana Jones, although he is awesome.
They can do it.
My brain also went there. I was gonna say, I'm like, not Indiana Jones games though.
I think it's hard. I think it's hard to not say indie and think Indiana Jones.
Right.
It goes along.
Yeah.
But we're working with independent games this show. We're going to be talking about games that we've played, games that we've liked to play, give you guys some idea of what there is out there. Maybe you guys want to try some of them yourselves. And we would like for you to let us know what independent games you're playing. It's very important information. So we might want to end up playing something new. So let us know in the comments below. And we'll jump right into this. Gentlemen, I usually have a couple of questions for you. Roundaboutly, being that we have a shorter panel, I'm going to go ahead and dive right into that as well. My questions, as far as independent games are concerned, and because I'm not a connoisseur, I actually know everything I know about independent games because a lot of other people, will tell me, "Hey, have you tried this?" I'm like, "What the hell is that? I never heard of this game." And they're like, "Well, because it's an indie. Well, it's on, it's free on PlayStation. Or you can buy it here. You can get it there." If you had a source. I know the PCs are a good place and a couple other, different arenas where you can get them. But if you had to tell someone, okay, look, this is where you would want to go to check out, what indie games are, where you can find some, or, a kind of a directory for someone, a layman who doesn't know much about indie games, where would you turn them to?
Let's see. I mean, I think I've gotten a lot of videos and things from a lot of different channels on YouTube. Actually, like there's a lot of good creators on YouTube. Game Explain is a channel that they're pretty good. There's also a handful of people out there that they will do like top 10 indie games coming out, or top 10 indie games last year or whatever. So I highly recommend just like doing searches on YouTube. Okay. For that kind of stuff, because there's so many people that are passionate about that stuff that they curate lists way better than I could. And like, there's so many of them out there. That's usually how I just like stumble across stuff a lot of times.
Yeah, pretty much what 8-Bit said. That's how I find out about a lot of them. Like a lot of reviewers I'll watch on YouTube will mention an indie game every once in a while, or they'll have like separate segments for indie games specifically. And they're like, oh, that looks kind of cool. Or like, it looks cool for someone who likes that type of game, but not for me or whatever. And actually, one weird thing is, most of the games I play are on PS4 and Xbox One. And if there's an indie game I'm interested in, I'll like highlight it like in the shop. And then there'll be the sections like players also played. And I'll go through that list and just kind of check those out and see like what kind of like auto recommends.
Okay, and I think that's about the route I was going to say too as well. Like the PlayStation Store, the Xbox 360 store, if you go in there's a lot of like, it didn't used to be like that. It was mostly just PlayStation exclusive stuff. But then it was like, I guess after the 3 really got, the steam that it got, and into the 4, they kind of just like allowed all the indie games to kind of flood in, which I thought was awesome because I'm seeing games that I never even knew existed. And after playing a couple of the games that I've already played and seen a few that I've already seen, I'm gonna go out there and say there's a lot of fun little games out there, and they're not expensive. It would be just as simple as downloading them or finding out which one you like to play, and they do have that search in it, even a little video in the store where it tells you like what you're doing in the game, or a brief little playthrough of a few seconds of video game footage, which is always awesome because then you kind of get an idea of what it looks like.
What it looks like in action.
Imagine if you could do that back when we were shopping for video games,
rather than using the box art and crap that has nothing to do with the game. It's like, oh, I could watch a little video. That's like 1,000 times better. Like now I know I want to play this.
You know what I hate though, and like 99% of these trailers seem to do this. It's like, okay, we're not going to show you gameplay in this like 1-minute trailer until like the last 5 seconds. We're just going to show you sweeping vistas for like 55 seconds. It's like
there's a bunch of cutscenes and concept art.
Right.
Like, I want to see how this game plays. Please.
Yeah, I want to actually see game. If you're going to show me a video, let it be gameplay. You know what I mean? So I can at least get an idea of what I'm going to get myself.
Sweeping vistas, the game. It's like, okay, that's nice. I'm a cameraman, apparently.
You're like, dude, I don't care. I'm not going to play as the cameraman.
Right, exactly. Right. And nobody wants to have fun with your pictures.
Yeah.
Okay. Secondly, as far as independent games are concerned, who are some of the more, or who would you highlight as some of the more go-to developers? Like if you see so-and-so, definitely give the game a quick read over. Like if you can name a developer or two, just somebody who you've had a lot of fun dealing with and who you would recommend to a friend, who do you think that would be?
I mean, so as far as like a developer for me, I really like Way Forward. So Way Forward, they have done a lot of the if you've heard of the Shantae games, they're basically like you play as like this small purple-haired genie. It's kind of like a Metroid style game. You do these different like dances to take different transformations. You transform into like an elephant, a monkey, like all this other stuff, and you explore that way. But Way Forward is one of those companies that they acquire like a lot of really random licenses. And so they'll pump out these games that like normally you wouldn't think twice about. You'd maybe be like, it's some licensed game. It's not really like anything special, but they take the time and the effort and the craftsmanship and they turn it into something awesome. That being said, they did also make Contra 4 on the DS. They recently did River City Girls, which was like a female revamp of the River City Ransom franchise.
Nice.
They've worked on actually one of their newer games was really cool. They came out with a game called The Mummy Demastered, and they basically turned it into like a Contra meets Metroid kind of game, and it's sick.
And so, are you the mummy or are you the little explorer?
You play as like commando guys, like just commando dudes trying to take down the mummy. But you wouldn't think it was a good game, but it's amazing. It's so good. So like I would highly recommend looking at Way Forward, and then if they're not a developer, but Devolver Digital. Devolver Digital is a publisher, and their games that they put out, the stuff that they publish, is usually always worth paying attention to. They pick a lot of really neat, like indie, small experience games. They're always like wicked fun and not expensive, so I definitely recommend those two.
Okay. Awesome.
See, like one, I mean, I wouldn't call these guys AAA. I kind of consider these more like indie, like Inti Creates has made a bunch of games from like since the early 2000s. Like they got a list here: Mega Man Zero, like that series, the Battle Chip Challenge, ZX, the Mega Man ZX, awesome games there. They also like Mighty Gun Volt, Mighty Number 9, Curse of the Moon, Castlevania, not the Castlevania, but the Bloodstained Curse of the Moon.
Bloodstained Curse of the Moon, yep.
Well, games like that. So they've dipped their toes in some pretty cool series and stuff, and they've done pretty well for themselves. Like I said, they've been going since like the early 2000s, so they've been doing it for a while.
Okay.
They've put out some quality games.
Oh. Unfortunately, I'm the layman here. I couldn't point you in a good direction as far as developers are concerned, but I have yet to see anything bad. What was the guys who made Titanfall and Apex Legends? I don't remember.
Is that who is that?
I'm trying to remember the name.
It's
of
not
it.
a Respawn Entertainment.
Respawn Entertainment. That's who. For me, they're one of the people I would say look out for.
Okay.
But as far as like where to go to point you in a direction, as far as indie, I'm still learning myself, so I wouldn't.
Respawn Entertainment, a game I didn't realize that Respawn did is actually that Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah.
I didn't know that they developed that.
Yeah, it came out of nowhere, and it was actually
and it's like good. Like people really like it. Like people say, like Star Wars fans like it, Dark Souls fans like it. Like somehow EA wasn't able to fuck that one up.
Exactly, which I think
is so good.
So EA is the publisher.
Publisher, yeah.
Okay, that's because I used to like the sports games. And I played a couple of games that they've put out before that I thought were dope, but I didn't see where the line was between them and Respawn. But now
I think sometimes they do the development themselves, but I guess in this case they probably like just gave it to Respawn to work on, which obviously worked out.
Let them handle it, right?
Yeah, it was like, do that from now on, please.
Yeah, that was a good move because both of those games are a lot of fun. So that's why I would say look out for. Respawn is definitely anything. I would say if you see their name attached to it, you might want to just give it a little peek, check it out,
right?
Just to see what happens. Yep. Okay. As far as favorites, I want to know just one. It doesn't. I mean, obviously, we're gonna have a whole bunch of different favorite independent games that we've played throughout time. But if you could pick one that you constantly go back to and say, you know, okay, I can't stop playing this game. I mean, it's fun, but I got, if I see it or if I, you know, happen to come across it, it's gonna get 5 good minutes, 10 good minutes of my time every time I see it. Give us one of your favorite independent games, your go-tos that is always going to be something that you'll play or in some capacity you'll recommend to a friend. Same order we've been doing it. Just gotta jump in there and let me know what are some of your favorite indies.
So there's a game I kickstarted a while ago called Chasm. And so this game is definitely like a love letter to Symphony of the Night. But the thing about it is that every time you jump into the game, a lot of it is randomized. So a lot of the level layout, a lot of the monster spawns, like, you know, all the enemies, there's so many different items that they drop. So it was one of those games that I played through it and I beat it, and then I just kept playing it. And I played it again, and I played it again. And like every new system that it came out on, I inevitably got it and played it again. And I'm like, why am I still playing this game? It's just good. It's just such a fun game. And like I read some reviews on it. Like some people didn't like it so much, but I think what makes it so incredibly good is that the art style is amazing and it controls like butter. Like it feels so awesome to play that I think it really is just like a solid Castlevania type game. But yeah, that one is definitely one of my favorites from the last bunch of years.
Okay, cool. Boss?
Well, the one that, I mean, I haven't played the newest one in this series, but the Shantae series is actually a ridiculously great series of games. Okay. Again, like, you know, action platformer, like 8-Bit had mentioned earlier. The first one I played was Half Genie Hero, which I think some of the fans were kind of lukewarm on, but overall, they still like it. My personal favorite out of the ones I've played is Shantae and the Pirate's Curse. So they're, like I said, they're all really kick-ass action platformers, you know, and you get to turn into different animals. That gives you different abilities. That gives you, you know, different abilities to like explore different areas that you couldn't before. You know, just like any good you know, action platformer, Metroidvania is, you know, you can't access something until you get a power up, and then you can go do some more exploring, and then, you know, have more discoveries, more powers, and get stronger. So that's definitely a great series, and definitely one I would highly recommend.
Okay, fair enough. For me, my answer will always be the same with this question, no matter when it's asked. Apex Legends. It's all about Apex Legends all the time. I'm addicted to the game. I play it any chance I get. It's a lot of fun. I'm a big first-person shooter guy. I love first-person shooters. I think they're a lot of fun in general. I mean, I also like action platformers as well, and third-person, all kind of different games. But I think for first-person shooters, this one kind of does it to me. The upgrading of the weapons, the levels, the fact that they give you different characters, and each character has their own like special ability, like unique to just that character. I love it. I love the fact, and it's a teamwork kind of base game where it's you can run solo if you can, you know, and survive as long as you can solo. But it's like with a team, it's just that much more fun, and especially if you have like-minded individuals, it's just a hell of fun. Right. And it's free. I mean, I think that's my favorite thing.
Better than free?
Like, I mean, as far as a game, like I would have paid $60 for this game in a heartbeat if I would have. If it would have been like promoted and
it's got polish.
Yeah, very much.
It's a very nice looking product. I played it for a little while there. Yeah, it's a good game.
Yeah, like I mean, all around solid piece of video game here, and just for it to be an independent, for it to be something that just kind of like popped up with the Fortnite craze and the online 1v1s and stuff like that. Everyone was like, you know, it kind of just came along with that, you know, era of gaming, but it's so much fun, and I definitely would say that it would be one of my recent favorites as far as independent games are concerned. Although I just started playing the new Blaster Master, so Ask me again in a couple of weeks, and we'll see if that changes.
Yeah, those games are ridiculously great too.
So I don't know. You know, I was 10 years old again for a couple of seconds. So it's kind of a toss up now.
It takes you there. It's really so faithful to the original that you're like, I feel like I'm just playing the original. But it's so buttery smooth, and it's got these it's got a map screen now, and like the equipment and shit, and it's just like, oh, this is so good.
Yeah, you can like go in, and I just started playing it, so I haven't really gotten that far. I literally played maybe an hour of the game. So there's like
collect everything, collect all the health pickups, all the health power ups.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because if you miss some, then you have to do backtracking later, because that's how you unlock like the true ending. You got to get every upgrade.
Okay.
So don't slouch. Explore those maps, man.
Oh, I was not playing on. I got Sophia. That's my girl. You know what I mean?
Sophia's your girl. Like you got to spend all the time you can
upgrade her to the fullest potential.
She deserves to be beautiful.
You got to master that blast.
Absolutely. Okay, so going right into the overall, what games we've played, what games we've like to suggest to our viewers. Oh wait, before we do that, we have a bit of a giveaway, and we have some stuff to give away. So we're doing both. So shout outs to everyone who participated in the last episode, and we're actually talking off camera about this. We just wanted to be, let you guys know that we're very grateful for all the views. We're averaging about 100 views per show, and it's just such an awesome thing to know that there are that many nerds who are watching us do our thing and just paying attention to us. So thank you so much for just the participation and vibing with us and watching our videos. We really appreciate it. And for the people who are participating in the last month's video, we did Metroid, and we did a couple of things that we wanted our viewers to do in the comments, and we picked Rachel Leiter and Colleen as our winners for that month. Rachel Leiter, you're going to be walking away with the Double Dragon handheld. How awesome is that?
So awesome.
Please, I want actual footage of you playing with this thing, because it's amazing. I want to play with it. It almost didn't get sent out, so that'll be coming to you soon. So be paying attention. And Colleen, you'll be getting the little Tanuki suit plush Mario. So a little something for your nerd mantle, something to put up there, for something for you to go to sleep with at night. Who knows? However you want to do your plushy thing. But let us know how you enjoy it, and if you did, and we'll get those items out to you soon. And thank you guys for participating. Seriously, we appreciate it. For this show, since we're doing independent games, and this is kind of a question and a giveaway at the same time. Maybe you gentlemen could help me out. Was Tetris an independent? I mean, obviously it came out on Nintendo, but the people who developed Tetris, because I remember it just coming out of nowhere. It was like mostly exclusively for the Game Boy, and then they made a Nintendo version, I think, after the fact. I think it is how it went. But was that like some just, ragtag kind of just independent video game developer? Because I don't remember it being like Konami or
I think the game was like created by like one guy.
It was just some dude, right?
And it was just a matter of him, like a bigger company like buying the rights to it and distributing it.
All right, but it was just some dude who just kind of
it was just one
literally the definition of independent.
Just one Russian dude,
just one, and he was a Russian guy. Okay, this is the independent game. So since
this is the godfather of independent,
right? This is the mother Russia of all independent.
The big old grizzly bear, big old Kodiak of independent gaming.
The Ursa Major of pixels.
Yes.
So we're gonna.
I've never thought of that. That's such a good point.
It really is. And I thought about it because I remember the Game Boy version, and I had it, and I just was like, where did this game come from for real? Like I remember Konami, I remember Sunsoft, and all these other different developers from back then, and it was like, where did this game come from? So we're gonna.
I want to give the. I'm sorry. I just want to say the name of the guy who created it is Alexei Pajitnov.
Okay, shout out to Alexei. He's a real hustler. He made it happen.
The true OG.
We needed to at least mention his name.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Alexa, thank you for being awesome and making the game. And we're actually going to give away a version of Tetris. We're going to give away a small handheld version of Tetris. It is a working little version. I found this one for every standard nerd should have it. So there you go. So we're going to give away a small Tetris game. So be paying attention for that. And we're also going to, as a second place prize, we're going to give away an Amalga Tea. of a video game, independent video game. We're not going to let you know which one it is. We're just going to send it out to you. So if you would like either of those items, please just let us know some of your favorite independent games or suggestions you might have for independent games that you would like us to try out and take a look at. Who knows? And we'll just pick a random winner like we did from last month. And also don't forget that we're still giving away the Metroid Blaster. You can go ahead and give us your game stills and any other type of awesome Metroid related fan art or anything you want to do. There is a post in Amalgamania and there will be one in Retro Redoctopus. So please feel free to go to either group and just give us some game stills and we'll pick a winner next month. And you guys will be running around with the Samus Blaster. Can't wait to see what mayhem ensues after that. And I think it actually makes the noise from the video game too, which I think is dope. Nice. Like that little
hell yeah.
So that I can't wait to see how that works out. So there you have it. That's for our viewers. Okay, gents. What are some of the independent games you were playing? What have we tripped over? Let's talk video games. Let's get into it. And just go ahead and jump in wherever you feel free. I do want to talk about Sundered. That is an awesome game. I got a chance to play it myself, so it kind of came out of nowhere as a suggestion from Boss. He was like, yo, this is one of the ones I'm playing. And rarely has these guys steered me wrong as far as video games are concerned. I think every single suggestion I've gotten so far, or tip or trick from these guys has been 100% solid. So it was just awesome to know that that consistency stayed true with this game. It was such a fun experience. And then like we talked about before, my son kind of jumped on it and he was having a good time. I had to like tell him, get off, let me finish. I'm doing this is research for my podcast. You can't just come here and mess
no, this is work for me.
Right. Yeah. But, it was just a lot of fun to play and I actually was having a good time. So thanks for the suggestion. And where'd you come up with, like, did you just like see this one and decide to try it out? Or?
I was on a kick of indie games that were action platformers because I'm gonna mention like 3 of them tonight. So.
Okay, cool.
And not Sundered, not even one of them. That was like just another one of the games I happened to play.
Right. And
that just happened to be like one that just the name just must have just stuck in your brain and like, oh, I'm gonna check that out, and there you go.
All right. And so so Ape, what are some of the games that you've been playing? What are the more independent games recently?
Yeah. So I came across this game literally this past week. I read an article online that was saying that this game was like was one of the best like cyberpunk genre games. There's obviously a lot of talk going around because of Cyberpunk 2077 coming out.
Because Deus Ex from like 3 or 4 years ago is good.
right. Deus Ex is good.
That's the reason. Nothing recent.
So this game is called Ghost Runner. And this game is developed by 2 companies. They're called One More Level and also Slipgate Ironworks. And it's published by 505 Games. They've been publishing a ton of different stuff. Namely, actually, they helped publish Bloodstained recently.
Okay.
And so you can get Ghost Runner on PS4, Xbox One, PC, the Switch, and then it's going to be coming to like PS5 and Xbox Series X next year. So basically, Ghost Runner, it's only like a $30 game. I was able to pick it up on sale. The production value is incredible. I wouldn't think it was an indie game just to look at this thing. But you play as this character who is a ghost runner, and it's basically the whole game is from the first person perspective, and you're essentially like this like futuristic cyber like samurai, like cyber ninja essentially, and the whole gameplay. Yeah. Oh yeah. I was like, I think Ian's gonna be way into this one. So you move so fast, you can do wall running just like Titanfall. You jump up on the walls, you run across it, whatever. The gimmick is that you die in one hit. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to get through these different sections of the level of the game map and kill all of the enemies as efficiently as possible. So you don't want to be seen. You want to make sure that you kill guys, very quickly. If someone spots you, you have like a short teleport that you can do. So you can like teleport short distances to kind of like throw them off. There's so much like platforming, and the whole time you just feel like an ultimate badass. Like you just feel like the coolest freaking guy in town. And as the game keeps going, you get like more abilities. You get the ability to like deflect bullets with your sword. So if you slash at a bullet, it'll fling it back at a guy.
Oh wow!
You can do like you get like there's like an ability I just got that just like, it's like essentially like a Jedi. Like you just do like a huge burst of energy and you send a dude just flying to his death. Just he blows away.
Okay.
There's so much cool stuff in this game. The thing is that it is challenging, but as you play it more and you get better at the control and you get better at moving your guy around, like you start to like look at a level and you analyze it and you're like, all right, if I jump there and then wall run there and kill that dude, then he won't hit me. And the whole time your brain's just like going a mile a minute. And like it, like I've only been playing it for maybe like, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours or so. And I probably died like hundreds of times, but I don't even know it because it's so quick to get back into it. Like if you die, you just hit one button and boom, you're back in it. And you're like, all right, let me try that again. And it is so fun. I gotta recommend it. So yeah, Ghost Runner is worth your time.
All right, that's going on the list.
Yeah, it's very cool. I was literally like, I was playing it today and I was like, I can't wait to play more of it. Because I'm like, I know I'm like more than halfway through. I want to. It was
only $30, right?
Yeah, it's only $30, and it's on sale for like most platforms right now. Nice. Like I think I ended up getting it for like 20, I think.
Oh, okay, sweet. All right,
yeah,
that's definitely going on the list.
Check that out.
All right, boss, what do you got for us?
I'm gonna rattle off 2 real quick because I feel they're kind of similar in like feel and theme, and that's Blasphemous and Death's Gambit. Now I've been wanting to play Blasphemous for like a while, but then I saw like Death's Gambit on sale. Like, all right, this kind of has the same like motif where it's like very like dark, gothic, and grim. So I went. That was on sale, so I played that. I had a good time playing it. I guess the original version was kind of like very unstable, but they've fixed it since then. So I've played a later version, so I had no problems with it. It's only available for like Windows and PS4, so
okay.
So, but just keep that in mind. But like the motif, I thought was really cool, and it's a pretty challenging game. Now the game doesn't really pull its punches. So if you're into like, everyone says the Dark Souls kind of experience, if you like those challenging action platformers, that's definitely one to go to. But Blasphemous is the one that I think most people would agree is like the more polished version of those 2 particular games, and I would agree.
So good.
It is a really great game, and that one's available PS4, Xbox One, Switch, Window, PC. So that one's way more readily available, and I think it's the better of the 2 games. Maybe a little bit more expensive.
You're talking about
Blasphemous, yes.
Okay. What's the price tag on that one?
I want to say the original price tag was like $25-ish, $26, but yeah. I think that But again, a sale happened, and it was like $20. I'm like, mine.
Yeah.
And definitely worth every penny. That game is solid. That game is really solid and very, very bloody and like just grim and
graphic,
brutal. Yeah.
Okay. So we're talking God of War. Like, is it same?
Oh yeah.
Thing? Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's very, very brutal. Very. It's all pixel. Like that and Death's Gambit. It's both pixel art. But man, Blasphemous is freaking gorgeous.
Visually, it's like, just incredible.
It is just the sprite work in this game is like some of the best I've ever seen in any game. Like ever.
You guys got me ready to get offline and hurry up and go down. Now I'm ready to see. Do so. It's really good, and it's another game that's really challenging too. And some of the parts, like it took me a while to get used to it because like the first hour or 2, I was like I don't know. I was kind of like, oh man, I don't know about this game. But once things started clicking and I was able to get into like a groove and like, have like a good pace going, like everything started to fall into place. And I was like, okay, all right, now I'm feeling it. And yeah, that's definitely a great game. Both those games are really good. Spawned. I like to touch on that a little bit before we go forward. There's always that fresh spawn kind of thing, like you're fresh out of the cryo chamber when you're starting a video game. There's always that moment where you're acclimating yourself as to what is up and what is down, as it should be with all things in life. But it's awesome like that we still experience that with being obviously capable men, rulers of all we survey, and still have those moments where we're kind of, stuck in like, well, all right, hold on, fight. That did it, or which one does the
what am I doing? Yeah, you get turned into like a little bumbling kid again for a second.
Yeah. Just there's something there's something nice about that, like just being able to know that you can learn from that.
A game that'll put you in its place but do it fairly.
Exactly. Like fair and square, you got to learn how to do. Everybody's got ropes to learn in every situation. If you allow yourself that perspective, and it's just funny that video games kind of capitalize on that experience for us. Like every time, and it goes for every gamer. I don't care how many times you've beat Metroid. You know what I mean? I don't care how many times you beat Super Mario. Dark Souls might not be that easy, you know, or Punch Out might be the thing that trips you up. It doesn't matter how good you've gotten that one game. There's always going to be that next game that puts you back to that. Okay, how do I move?
Yeah, that's definitely part of the fun. Is like the learning and the getting into
tutorial
it.
Flow.
I'm back down to little baby man level.
Yeah, you know, there's something humbling about that, and then getting to the point where you're like being able to ravage monsters the size of skyscrapers with the thought, you know.
Right. Yeah. It's like I'm not just leveling up in game. I'm leveling up in real life.
Exactly. Exactly.
So overcoming the challenges and all that stuff. You know,
I mean, gratifying once you get through it. People in this information age and age of convenience, where we got the microwaves and the instant being able to call and FaceTime and everything, and it's like it's Zoom and all the things that make it so convenient for us. It's just nice to know that even in something that we can have fun in, there's that reliance, that self-reliance. You're gonna have to learn. You're gonna have to go through and build yourself up to be something later. And I think that's a pretty good lesson that we should not let escape us.
Absolutely.
Leave the game genies at home. Grind it out. So, okay, for me, or I'm sorry, boss. Were you finished? Did you have another game?
I mean, I got two more games I'd like to mention, or are we going to come back around? Or do you want me to just spot them out now?
Oh, go ahead.
All right. So the third platformer I want to mention, it's called Touhou Luna Nights. It's spelled Touhou.
Oh, okay, I've seen that. Yeah, I don't know how to say that.
This game is super fun, and it's very, very, very Castlevania Symphony Night inspired. And apparently, it touches upon references to a series called Touhou Project, which has been around since the 90s. And it's got like a whole bunch of I guess Japanese games and maybe probably an anime and a manga somewhere. And I've never heard of this at all until like maybe 3 or 4 months ago. And it's basically like it's basically an all female cast. All like the character you control is like a maid, and that goes into she gets trapped in an alternate dimension. All her powers are taken away because apparently they're all powerful. I guess I don't know. But obviously you get more powerful as the game progresses. And all the other NPCs, all the other characters, they're all female. So if you like that kind of thing, cool. I enjoyed it. So
this looks awesome.
But the graphics
really
are great. Yeah, I mean the gameplay is really freaking well. It's tight. The controls are tight. It's smooth. Like the power ups you get are pretty neat. No, I didn't end up using a lot of them, but
platforms you said
it is available. PC, Xbox One, not PlayStation 4. So just PlayStation fans, sorry, you can get Death's Gambit, but not Touhou Luna Nights.
Touhou.
Also, it's also on the Switch, so people who have Switch can get into this too.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah. It's not a super long game, but it is really fun. It's a solid action platformer. The last boss though, oh my god, it's a decently challenging game. It seems pretty fair, but that last boss, oh my god, it's just all of a sudden it was like the most ridiculous thing. I must have died at that boss like 30 times, and I had to look up like on YouTube for like strats. Yeah. And I was like, and then finally once I beat the last boss, I'm like, oh my god, thank God, because this thing was kicking my ass so hard. Oh my god.
Wow.
But that's definitely a really fun game. Really, well put together, very solid.
Projects, or is that the first? What was the name of it again? Touhou Projects.
Touhou Luna Nights.
Luna Nights. Okay.
And then the last game I want to mention is called Project Warlock. Now, there's not as much Warlock as the name would suggest. It's a little bit of Warlock, and it's a first-person shooter in the vein of like Doom and Wolfenstein from back in the 90s.
Nice.
And a very little bit, and I wish more of a bit of like Hexen and Heretic, because there is a little bit of that in there, and I kind of wish there was more. But this was a really fun first-person shooter type game. Super fast-paced, and it's got like kind of cartoony graphics, but it's still cool. It's pretty good. It's it's definitely going back to that 90s kind of vibe.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty sweet.
Yeah,
the art style is like very distinct. It's almost like cell shaded,
pixely,
but like still got that Doom aesthetic. But that's cool.
Definitely a super fun FPS. The only thing is, I mean, like I said, there is some little bits of magic, and I almost never used it. So it didn't feel like it was like vital to the gameplay at all. I mean, I'm sure you could, but I never found a use for it.
I mean,
So maybe it was just my play style. I don't know, but
I mean,
it's
if you got a gun and a magic wand,
right? I know, right? And yeah, there are guns. So,
right, so it's like, man.
And it's priced pretty reasonable. I think it's under $20. So.
Oh, okay, dope.
And
nice.
Yeah, definitely a good game. I enjoyed it a lot. So if anyone wants that type of flavor in their life, I'd say get a taste.
All right, that's what's up. For me, I think I mentioned mine too. I'm gonna just stick with Sundered, and I'm gonna also mention the Blaster Master games. I always get it. I can't believe I could still not remember
Master Blaster.
I always say that back. I've been saying doing
it. Blaster Master.
Right.
Yeah, Master Blaster is the guy from Mad Max, right?
Yeah, from Mad Max.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think that those are pretty much the indie games, and of course, like I mentioned, Apex before and a couple others. But I think I've had the most fun playing those two games. Sundered, I think it gives me this kind of. There's definitely a Castlevania-esque feel to it, but it's also got it's definitely a Metroidvania. It's a very close relation to. It feels like you're in Castlevania, but you can see those other world elements to it, and there's also like an alien language and a couple of different things where it has just the best of both worlds as far as that's concerned. If you're into action platformers and love either of those games, you will like this game. It's a lot of fun. Check it out. Blaster Master, as far as that game's concerned, well, Blaster Master Zero, sorry. I just started playing that. Been playing it for about a few hours now, and like I said, I've been transported back to a 10-year-old boy for a few minutes of my life, and who does not want that? You know, even if it's just for those few minutes. Like a
9-year-old.
I can go 9. That's good too. But it just
a 9-year-old doesn't want to transport to be a 10.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely not.
he's gonna get there in another year anyway.
Yeah, and you guys slow down. You'll get there eventually. For us, we need to rush back to that. We got to get back to it. And it just felt good, man, to be playing like something that was familiar and still like not knowing what's going to happen next. And although it looks like something like I obviously know the character, the vehicle, but the villains, the enemies are all different. The way that, the power-ups are done is all set up different. But there are some very overall familiar aesthetics to the game, which I thought was dope. So I'm into that right now. That's what I'm going to be doing for the foreseeable future into the holiday. So that's going to be my pick. I'm definitely going to say, if you don't have it, at least check out the trailer. If you haven't checked out the trailer, go on ahead and buy it. They're all very cheap. I think all together I bought Blaster Master, Blaster Master Zero, Blaster Master Zero 2, and Sundered. I think I might have paid $13 for all 3 games.
Right, those games, especially the Blaster Master games, they're stupidly cheap.
Yeah, like $10 I think I paid, and it was
they're worth double what they're charging. They literally are. They're only like $10 a piece. Right, regular $10 a piece. It's insane.
Yeah, it's crazy that they're so
definitely
cheap.
If you don't have them, it's a good grab and it's a lot of fun. It's definitely something I could see myself playing, especially like when I got a big update or something. Like like when Miles Morales came out, it took a little bit for that to download for me, and I would have loved to have been playing one of these games waiting for that to download. It would have been a great kind of appetizer before the meal. So that's my spew for indie games. Jets, I think that just about does it, unless you guys have anything. Oh, tips, tricks, any kind of knowledge you want to give to anybody?
Actually, if you don't mind, I got one other indie game that I wanted to spotlight real quick.
Go ahead.
So I recently got into a game that I kept having recommended to me. Is called Monster Sanctuary, and this game came out it actually came out about a year ago, but it started to get more release on like consoles and stuff kind of more recently, especially the Switch. It came out I think just a few weeks ago. Okay. And so this game, a lot like Boss Rush Mode's picks, this game is, a side-scrolling, pixel art, looked like it came off the Super Nintendo kind of game. But the wrinkle in it that I kind of was drawn to was that, it's platforming, it's exploring, you backtrack, there's all that kind of stuff. But I'm a big fan of Pokemon, and I'm a big fan of collecting monsters and doing turn-based RPG stuff. And this game has that. So basically, you do your exploring, you do your platforming, all that stuff. You start the game, it makes you choose one of 4 monsters to start out with. And then when you encounter an enemy in a level, you'll actually do, it'll like stop the flow of things. It'll go into like your little turn-based thing, and then you fight them. And when you defeat them, there's a chance that you'll get an egg from that monster that you can then hatch and add it to your team.
Oh, wow.
And so you can basically go around and add all these monsters to your team and stuff. The thing that makes it really cool is not only is there the RPG aspect of it, but all of the monsters that you add to your team, you can actually use them to assist in exploring. So like if you recruit like a falcon or like a bird type creature, you can then use it to like hover across like short distances. So you can get from like farther platforms away that maybe you couldn't make with a normal jump. And there's some other monsters that I've gotten that like they'll allow you to like chop down vines or break hidden walls. There was a guy I even got that it let you like, it would create a little like obstacle that you could use to activate switches. So you could like, activate the switch and then go elsewhere and go do something. And that whole layer is so cool. Like I love like doing the battling and all that stuff. And like when you're leveling up your monsters, like you want to talk like a skill tree. Like every single thing has this crazy friggin' skill tree, which is cool because you can actually see ahead of time what something's going to learn, and you can decide, is this a monster that I want to invest time in? Do I want to raise this thing up or not? Whereas like with Pokemon, you're kind of going in blind. You have no idea.
Right, you're hoping that you'll get.
You're hoping it's worth it.
Monster, right? Where you don't know.
You don't know. But this game, it's like, okay, I can actually look at all of the skills that it'll learn and figure out, is this something I want? Would this be something I would want to build out?
Is it going to help me later?
Right. Yeah. And then you got the whole aspect of they also can help you explore. And so I actually put like a bunch of hours into this game, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. It's very easy. Again? It's called Monster Sanctuary.
Monster Sanctuary.
And so to my knowledge, it's on everything right now. Switch, PS4, Xbox, PC, the works. And I think I picked it up for $20. And it's fairly new, so it's not on sale yet, but it's totally worth it. And it was a Kickstarter, I think, a couple of years ago. And so it finally, kind of got onto all the platforms this year and stuff. But yeah, I gotta recommend it. It's very fun. It's a cool take on like the Metroidvania kind of genre.
Okay. All right. So you guys got me spending about $60 tonight. There's at least 3 games that you mentioned I'm going to definitely have to sample. So thank you for that, gentlemen. So I guess that just about does it for this episode. We went over our games. We did our giveaways. We gave you some suggestions. We gave you a little bit of insight on how we like to play and why. Next show, we're actually going to do a year in video game review. We're going to go over some of the more notable games that came out in 2020, which I think is probably the only thing we want to review in 2020.
Literally the only good thing about 2020.
Right. So we're gonna try to find. We're gonna try to craft a silver lining for you all, and we're gonna talk about our year in video game review. Hopefully, we'll be joined by the other retro guys. And hopefully they'll be aboard for that show. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys on that episode. Until then, you guys, all our viewers, again, we just want to thank you for your participation and for giving us a shot. And definitely let us know what you think about this video and some of the other independent games that you've played before. And we look forward to hearing from you. And we will see you on the next episode.
Thanks a lot, guys.